Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I know we're going to have a lot of conversation about this, so what I'd like to do is really respect Robert's Rules of Order. We're going to probably bring this back next month to have public comment in October, which I would like to do, and I'm sure we'll have robust public comment. But the sponsor of the ordinance, would you like to first move that, and then we can have debate?
Certainly, I'd like to first make a motion, and then I'd like to make some commentary.
All right, I'll second that motion.
All right.
And now let's bring it up to debate, and I'd like you to talk about what this ordinance is about, and then, of course, I'd like the city attorney to fill us in.
Okay, thank you very much. We got about 2 months left here, and in the last couple months, we've had a vigorous, very lively, and sometimes quite heated debate, and about the topic of fundraising to committees from stakeholders by commissioners here at the city. And so while that practice is 100% legal, ethical, and everything that I did in the practice of fundraising for the committee was 100% legal and ethical, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best practice for a municipality. And in fact, Miami Beach itself, upon reflection, can be better. We can be different. We can hold ourselves to a higher standard. You know, you've got fundraising throughout the country, throughout the community. This county, where you have county government, where vendors, lobbyists, and real estate developers contribute directly to candidates and commissioners and mayors' campaign accounts. So the practice is 100% legal and ethical. But Miami Beach as a municipality here, we can hold ourselves to a higher standard, and that's what this ordinance is about. Is that upon reflection, I think that's a good idea, and I think that the debate was very. It was very positive at the end and good in that I think it brings us to a good end. That without that debate, we don't end up at this point with an ordinance that I'm proposing. It still may need a little bit of work between now and the final reading, but basically what the ordinance does is it targets solicitation, and the ordinance would prohibit commissioners, mayor, candidates for commission or candidates for mayor from fundraising from lobbyists, vendors, or real estate developers, as defined in the code, into committees. There's been some suggestion we should add ECOs. I agree with that. I think that's a great idea. I've even heard some suggestion we should expand this to former commissioners. I also think that's a wonderful idea, or former mayors. So that's essentially what it'll target, direct or indirect solicitation by a commissioner or his or her designee, or a mayor or his or her designee, prohibits them from fundraising from those specific classes of people. So that's what the ordinance is about. That's the reason for it, and I welcome any support, any co-sponsors. I'd welcome the entire commission to co-sponsor the ordinance, and I would assume and hope that my prior detractors, this is directly the point of what we were looking for, what you all were looking for, I would think. So I'd ask you to co-sponsor it.
First, Commissioner Tobin, before you speak, I would like to have the city attorney talk about the background.
Mr. Mayor, point of order. The members of the commission are the only ones that can be called on to speak. You don't have to recognize me for it's point of order.
Commissioner Green, I just want the city attorney just to fill in a couple of things first.
Mr. Mayor, point of order. The members of the body are entitled to speak.
We have a question on the table right now.
No, I understand that. So it's a point of order. Right. I printed out Roberts too, and I gave copies to several people.
Commissioner Green, if you want to speak, go ahead.
Point of order.
Please,
Commissioner Tobin wanted to speak. The members are supposed to speak before we get any legal advice from the city attorney. So we can go through this, but if there's a motion on the table,
feel free. Go ahead. We have a motion on the table.